back to Lifestyle of the Believer. I am Gia Roberts, and I am certainly delighted that you're here today. Thank you so much for joining us. Just a reminder, we exist to motivate, empower, and encourage groups and individuals to see their potential in Christ. As you can probably see by the title of this video, I will be making some confessions about what it's like to be a First Lady. In fact, this is the first video in a series that I'm calling Confessions of a First Lady. And this is not easy because I'm putting myself out there, and I'm going to be as honest and as transparent as possible. And I hope that it helps, it blesses, it empowers, and encourages somebody. So I'm not just doing this series just because I want to put my business out there. I'm doing this series because I'm hoping that it helps someone. Let me begin with a few disclaimers. The first disclaimer is that I am one First Lady. So I definitely don't speak for all of the First Ladies all across the country and all across the world. So I speak for myself, but I do believe that we have more in common than we have different. And so I'm hoping and praying that even though I speak for myself, that you can be blessed by it, whether you're a First Lady or whether you know somebody that's a First Lady, and it can strike a chord because it's something that's important. So I want to talk about parenting, being a pastor's wife. When we became the pastors of our local church, my oldest son, who is 9 now, was 2 years old. And one of the things that has been a challenge for me, and it's been 7 years, and I'm learning, and I'm adjusting. And I'm thankful that my church family loves my kids, because I could see it being very different if they didn't. And that's just the truth. Okay? And I'm not talking about love my kids because God says you have to love everybody, but love my kids and accept them for who they are. And I'm thankful for that, because everybody can't say that. Because I remember having the thought that, and I posted this on Facebook at one point, that when you are a pastor and you are a parent, you literally take your kids to work with you every time you go to work, unless you have a sitter, unless you have somebody that you can just leave them with. And I don't know that that's what I want. I want my kids to be with me and a part of my life and a part of who I am and a part of my faith. If I want them to be a part of our ministry, I want them to be a part of everything that we do. So you go to church and you worship and you praise God and you go home. But when you're the pastor, when you're the First Lady and you're the minister in the church, it's not just going to church and worship. You're going to work. You're going to work, and you're taking your kids to work with you. And imagine what it's like for you, whether you are a teacher, whether you are a nurse, whether you are a doctor, whether you work at Walgreens, whether you work at wherever you work, whether you work for FP&L, regardless, just consider taking your kids to work with you and expecting to be able to discipline them and expecting them to behave. And it's very challenging. And so sometimes as a parent, you put on yourself, whether people do it or not, you put on yourself this idea that people are watching your parenting and people are looking to see how you respond to your kids in certain situations. At the same time, these are your kids that you love, and you're not going to discipline them simply because somebody feels like they should be disciplined because of something that they did. Whereas you don't necessarily feel like, okay, this is not a battle that I need to fight right now. So that is kind of the challenge, and I know I'm here, there, and everywhere, but I'm hoping that I'm bringing this full circle so that you can understand that parenting kids while pastoring is literally taking your kids to work with you every day, doing your job effectively, and also taking care of your kids while you're working and making sure that they are well behaved. And sometimes they're not well behaved, because I have 2 boys, 2 very intelligent and talented and energetic boys. But my church members love them, receive them, accept them. And so whereas the years have caused me to worry about my parenting, my church family makes me feel like it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And so I want to let you know that whether your church family makes you feel like it's okay or not, it's okay. I have a little story to tell about my youngest son, because we do this thing called the Dawkins box at our church. And after we collect our regular offering, we open up the Dawkins box, and then people come in and they bring their loose change, their dollar bills, $5 bills, put it in the Dawkins box. And at the end of the year, we open up the Dawkins box and we use it for whatever we decide that year that we're going to use it for. So as time went on, what happened is people who don't feel like walking, and we have some older members in our church, and we have some people who just would like to let the kids be a part of the service. So they'll call the kids and they'll give them $1, $5, some change, and tell them to put it in a Dawkins box. So that turned into, this is kind of like the kids. This is their opportunity to be a part of the service. So that's what we do. So now my kids help. When it's time for the Dawkins box, they go around and they collect, and my little one absolutely loves it. And I remember one Sunday I was sitting on the pulpit up top, and we opened the Dawkins box, and people are, giving the money, and the kids are collecting it and bringing it up to the front to the Dawkins box. I remember Christian, my baby, decided that when he got his change to put in the Dawkins box, he was going to walk up to the pulpit and he was going to moonwalk to the Dawkins box. And in that moment, I'm thinking, what is he doing? So I wanted to walk down and get him and make him stop. And I can laugh about it now. And my church members, they thought he was the funniest thing, and they didn't take it personally or anything. But it's just, you are so hypersensitive to these things sometimes that I can laugh at it now, but in that moment I was thinking to myself, what is he doing? Why is he on the pulpit moonwalking right now? And so it's so hard because you're under a microscope and you're thinking, somebody's thinking, is that the pastor's kid moonwalking on the pulpit? And so your mind just thinks, oh my God, it's okay. It's okay. Number one, it's okay to let your kids be kids. It's okay that you cannot stop everything and discipline them in that moment. And it's okay that you don't discipline them every time somebody feels like you should discipline them. You are the parent, and you are human, and your kids are human, and allow them to grow up. Allow them to enjoy church. Because right now, we have a generation of young people that are bashing church terribly all over social media. And these are not the kids that never went to church. These are the kids that went to church. And they know about church, and they know about God, and they know about service. And they're making a mockery out of it because their creativity, and they weren't allowed to be themselves. They weren't allowed to be who they were, who they are. We just made them to just be this person for like 3 hours every Sunday, and then Wednesday, and on Friday, and it wasn't fun for them. They didn't feel like they belonged. They didn't feel like they were a part of it. So they went, they sat, they left, and nothing penetrated. So for me, as a parent, my 9-year-old, he's active, and he's not active in the things that I say you have to do, or you better be involved. No, he wants to do these things in church. He wants to be a part of it. He wants to work in the multimedia. He wants to be a part of the usher board, and we have these conversations. So, first ladies out there, you're not perfect. Your kids are not perfect. And it's okay. So be encouraged, girlfriend, and you're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. Until next time, don't forget to follow us on social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and don't forget to log on to our website, lifestyleofthebeliever.org. I love you, I mean it. I am Gia Roberts, and I am all about that life, and that is the lifestyle of the believer.